Tonight this great body, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it, we gon' come and see about it. Flexing like this great about it, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it, find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing like this great about it, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it, we gon' come and see about it. Flexing like this great about it, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it, find out nothing sweet about it. Look, I'm out like 3-6 pulled up, ski trip cold winter. I'm eating good, I remember when we had no dinner. West side, east side, no side, both sides with me. Check, come and check, leaving flex season 12, come and get me. Hill, the run around, high speed, chasing all the big bags. Bending corners, bending rules, bending necks, Gil, the whiplash. Slide through hot night, warm butter storm, gutter drain lane. Young man, old habit, still let it, tryna let my chain hang. True story, new story, 2-story condo, B&B. 4 bath, 1 me, no key, like I did a B&E. Being me, so good, so hood, so not worried about it. 250,000 new views, old news, know you probably heard about it. Extra, read about it. Headline, word around town, flexing. Falling on my course, so I ain't worried about nobody out of bounds, stressing. Feeling like Hercules, murder these ain't a problem to me. Tried to tell the maid service, don't come unless you bring it condoms to me. Flexing like this great about it. Extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it, we gon' come and see about it. Flexing like this great about it. Extra, read about it. Say you wanna beef about it, find out nothing sweet about it. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down to me. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping.
What's the first thing women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of it. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have T. Shanley as a sponsor of today's video. T. Shanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with an SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But and to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because T just sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
It's go time. What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Wednesday show. We're going to introduce the crew. We got Miss Tapping the Shot, Alicia Shantae, Clout Jones. Here's the poet. Got Simone Hickney, myself. I'm Lapeef. Welcome. What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
Blessed and highly favored.
Doing good.
Laughing at Ish. Ish, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't tell you what I'm laughing at.
Okay.
We're on live.
Oh, okay. I got you. It's all good. With that being said, happy to see you guys per usual. Shout out to the sponsor, man, T. Shanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. You guys get 40% off along with a free gift. And if you become a member and click that link, you get 20% off for life. T. Shanley. Click that link. I use it every day. It's been doing some wonders on my skin. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. I used to have my beard come down a little further. I went ahead and trimmed it up, man. I was always concerned about how my skin will react, but ever since I've been using that Teej, it's been doing what it do. So shout out to Teej, man, for an amazing male product. I'm not just saying it. I actually enjoyed it. I didn't really have a skincare routine. And then once, me and Teej collab, I'm like, hey, I can rock with this. Man. I know we black, but we still got to put on our sunblock. You'd be surprised how much harshness the sun does on our skin. And if you want to look young and youthful, get that zaddy status, man. Get that Teej. It's nothing like being in your 50s and you're in like Cancun somewhere, you're out the country with your shirt off. Look at zaddy. Yeah. Some of y'all don't know what that is. Y'all got them dad bods stepping outside. Anyhow, go ahead and keep it moving, man. See, we got Black Sakan in the house. Power Driver. AP, what's going on, brother? Mills, 36. Be original. Fish in the Fit. Christopher Matthews. As you guys come in, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you are catching this on the replay, We haven't forgot about y'all. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe as well. Hey, Pete coming in out the gate. $5 says salute to my brothers and sisters. Always salute to the man, the myth, the legend, the mastermind, Mr. Lapeef J.I. Thank you, sir. And thank you for that compliment. So we are going to go ahead and get this show started, man. Obama humiliated by his wife, allegedly. He attends the inauguration alone. Y'all see it? Are you familiar with the tie? Biz? Not that. You guys know what the inauguration was, right? Okay. What? Don't say duh.
I just didn't watch.
Okay. Well, there was some clips that was surfacing around, and I didn't really do a deep dive into it until earlier today, to be honest. But I did see Obama by himself in it. I'm like, where's Michelle? But I just didn't really think it was a big deal. But everybody else thought it was a big deal. A lot of speculations going on. We also had some news that broke not too long ago about Kamala Harris blames her husband for the loss to Trump. Allegedly. Daily Mail broke this news, so we're going to unpack that as well and get you guys' thoughts. But I think that this Obama...
I was gonna say she wasn't at President Carter's funeral as well.
Who? Kamala?
No, Michelle.
Michelle? Yeah, she wasn't there as well. So, is it trouble in paradise? I don't know, man. We often on this platform talk about wifely duties and the roles and responsibilities and the support and all that good stuff. It's unusual for Michelle. I know Michelle was going on a world tour, it seemed like, when she was doing her book. And she had a lot of messages that a lot of people, they wasn't shocked, but it came out. Everything sin had come out. And now we see this very unusual. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Again, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Cloud is in the chat, I see. So I'm gonna play this clip. This is the former presidents Clinton and Bush and Obama arrived at the Trump inauguration. So I'm gonna play this clip and just notice, see how you guys feel about what you see, and let me know what you notice right off the bat. Let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go. Okay, and we got this. Let me go back out and come back in. My apologies. I should have had this together. All right, should work now. Let me go ahead and bring the video back. Mm-hmm. 31. Okay, here we go.
Ain't you a Deadpool fan? I love Deadpool.
Yes, I have a few action figures behind me.
I see. He on
Yes,
your
I
shirt though? Or is that somebody else?
Now I see him on my shirt.
Yes, I thought.
Yeah. All right, here we go, yo.
And as we mentioned, this is the introduction of former President Clinton and former First Lady and Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton as they make their way to the Rotunda platform. Normally this...
So I could see Mr. and Mrs. Clinton arrived
onto the inaugural platform, that majestic platform, which for now, which took months to build, is just gathering some snow.
It's a great feeling to be introduced coming down that platform. I will tell you that. I'll also mention that President Clinton and Mrs. Clinton were, of course, there 8 years ago. They came to the lunch, the very small 200-person lunch afterwards. And President Trump
Bush and
specifically expressed his gratitude that they were both there and for their service to the country. It's that kind of moment when a lot of things are put aside. Sometimes they're pretty quickly recaptured. But this is a day that's more about democracy than party.
And as we mentioned, these are members of Donald Trump's family that you just saw there, and former President Barack Obama.
You guys see Michelle? Maybe she was with Shannon Sharp or something. I don't know. Let's go ahead.
Obama heading to the Rotunda platform, not joined by Michelle Obama.
AP in the chat says he still had that swag walk.
She did not also come to Washington for the funeral of Jimmy Carter, just recently celebrating her birthday.
Presidential Inaugural Committee. Committee co-chair, Mr. Steve Witkoff.
And just mentioned the committee co-chair, Steve Witkoff, who in addition to these responsibilities as co-chair of the inaugural committee, Margaret Brennan has just recently returned from Israel after working to help broker that deal to bring the hostages home.
Donald Trump's best friend, as he describes himself, also a real estate developer, and now the closer on this major diplomatic deal.
All right, so that was the former presidents walking in, as you guys can see. Bush was with his wife, and Clinton was with his wife, and there's when we saw Mr. former President Obama coming in solo. And so it looked unusual to me. I mean, just let me get you guys just immediate thoughts, just looking at that. Was it unusual for you? I know you haven't seen any of it, Ty, but first impression.
I mean, if you're just looking at it and seeing everyone else walk in with their wives, then it does look unusual. But knowing that Obama was a strong supporter of Kamala, it doesn't, right? It was many reasons she couldn't have been there. Maybe she was sick. It was just her birthday. Maybe she was gone. Maybe she just told Barack, I don't want to go to this. I don't really support him. I want to act like I support him. And Barack was okay with it. I just read something that says that he shut down the rumor stating that they split and he shouted her out for her birthday. So I don't know if it's too strange of a thing. Also, like you stated, she was just on a tour, right? Going across the country for her book. She also was traveling around just speaking to different people at different speaking engagements. So she could have been doing that as well and thought that was more important than her supporting someone that she doesn't support.
Yeah, okay. And what about you, Viz?
I'm not so much tripping about her not attending. I think what would have made more sense if they both didn't show up. We saw pretty much everybody on the left drag Trump through the mud, call him all type of names, made it clear that they don't like him, they don't support him, so on and so forth. So to me, it would have made more sense that, okay, if you're not going to go, then we're not going to go. We're going to stand in this together. But the fact that he went and she didn't, regardless if she was on a book tour or wherever, in my opinion, this is something that you know is going to happen on this date. So as a family, as a unit, as the first Black family, it would only make sense to show up either together or not at all. But I don't blame her for showing up because, again, they dragged them through the mud. So just how everyone blew up on the one guy not shaking Kamala's hand, clearly he didn't like her. If I don't like you, I'm not going to shake your hand either. So if I don't like you and I don't support you, then I wouldn't show up, especially, again, if you went to the extent that they did. I wouldn't show up to the inauguration either. But I think with it being a split thing, that's where the issue comes into play. Because it's not just about you, Michelle, and your ego. It's about what it is that we look like as a unit and the example that we're setting for other Black people.
All right, go ahead, Dasimo.
I was reading this article from March 7th, 2023, where Michelle Obama said that she basically she couldn't deal with it. She had uncontrollable crying going to the last inauguration. The lack of diversity in the room, it really struck her. So I'm pretty sure that had an effect on how she felt about this inauguration. This wasn't her first inauguration, and she definitely gave how she felt in her experience at the last one. So I'm pretty sure that had a large amount to do with it. I think she wanted her husband to attend because she didn't want him to look like Trump when he didn't attend. She wanted him to continue to go with respect. And I think that's just two people married who obviously have their marriage going their way and it works for them. And I see Obama, he's a strong man. He was able to do that by himself, the way he walked in, swagged out. You know, he always got that walk with him. It didn't seem like it bothered him at all. The boos that he got, I'm surprised you didn't hear it on there, was crazy. But yeah, like I said, she spoke on this, if you do your research on her. And it affected her mental health really bad last time, just being in the room with a certain amount of people. And I think her husband understood that, and I think she understood her husband's duties. So that's my take.
Okay. Before we get to the rest of the people, I'm going to go ahead and play this next clip, which is the introduction of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, former vice presidents, the Honorable Dan Quayle, accompanied by Mrs. Marilyn Quayle, and the Honorable Michael Pence. Ladies and gentlemen, the 42nd President of the United States, the Honorable William J. Clinton, accompanied by the Honorable Hillary Rodham Clinton. Ladies and gentlemen, the 43rd President of the United States, the Honorable George W. Bush, accompanied by Mrs. Laura Bush. Ladies and gentlemen, the 44th President of the United States, the Honorable Barack H. Obama.
There you have it. The introduction of the former president. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to Clout, then we go to Aisha, man. What are your thoughts about this whole Michelle's missing? She didn't attend.
I agree a lot with what Viz said. I just feel as though, or I think rather, I get it. Maybe she was sick. Maybe she was doing her birthday, whatever the case was. But, and maybe I'm a little old school, right? But the way I see it is like, first, just on a American front, like the inauguration is supposed to represent kind of like a ceasefire. It's supposed to be like a peaceful handing over of the torch, kind of. And it's supposed to show the American people, I think, that after all of this bloody politics that happened, we're all going to come together, the enemies and the friends. Everybody's going to come together to show respect to the new person in office as a respect to the presidency itself, right? Outside of who's in it currently. Now, as far as my experience, the Obamas have a very polished, very clean image or brand. And I think a lot of their brand has been leveraged on them being a unified front. I also think there's a lot at stake considering Barack Obama's the first Black president. His wife is the first Black first lady. And on top of that, we don't know if we'll ever see one again. I think also when you add to it that one of his biggest criticisms when dealing with Donald Trump specifically is, or the left, Donald Trump calls them, weak leaders. He shouts that out a lot, that they're weak leaders. So with all that in perspective, you have these two monumental moments in American history, and the first Black lady, first lady, isn't there with no explanation for reasons that seem to be personal. And I keep hearing from people, well, she has the right to do what she wants. But at the same time, she has a position that she feels that's bigger than her. Like, it's bigger than Barack. It's bigger than them. It's about America, right? So I think if we keep that into consideration, for me personally, it's a little disappointing. To me, the message that it gives off is weak. And I think that what it does is it opens the window for people to continue to attack his presidency and his legacy. Because right now, what it looks like is it's not a unified front. And the evidence of that is everywhere you look, there's questions. Are they still together? Are they divorced? What's going on? And I don't know, for two people that carried themselves in such a polished way, for there to not be a unified front, as a Black man, it's just disappointing. As an American, it's disappointing. Like, I could completely understand if the sentiment was, we're not fucking with Trump, we're not showing up. Because then, to me, that's a strong statement. That's strong. That shows strength. Even if I don't agree with it, it still shows strength. They were decisive. If they came together now, I think that would show strength, especially considering the fact that Michelle Obama has consistently been very vocal about this presidency. I actually find it a little bit cowardly that she would not face the opponent, and I find it to be bad sportsmanship. That's just my opinion. I think that when you play a good game against somebody, no matter how what y'all did in the game or however the fight was, you touch gloves at the end of the day and you show each other respect and you honor the new champ, however it turned out. And in this situation, I think considering that she was so vocal, you don't get to be vocal and you don't get to get all the benefits of being this active, well-known, prominent first lady. And then in situations where you have to continue in your duty after the presidency, now it's about your feelings. Now it's about what you want to do. I just feel like that's a little disingenuous. I think for her to be standing next to her husband, in spite of the fact that she doesn't like Trump, in spite of the fact that it gave her anxiety, I think that would show true strength. But her making one decision and him making another decision that doesn't show strength in any way. And I saw that Mike Pence, it didn't seem like Mike Pence had his woman with him. And to me, that made it actually look worse. Because to me, Mike Pence is like such a weakling. And now for you to be just like him, showing up without your woman, it's like, bro, like you're Barack, bro. You're that guy. Your wife should be with you. And also, just as a black man, I feel like there needs to be a scene showing that this man who was once the most powerful man in the world, he got his house in order. His wife is with him to ride until death for whatever, don't matter how she feels. Because this is war that y'all in. This is politics. This isn't friendly. Politics is war. And you know that when you make the commitment to stand by his side when he ran for that presidency, you're in it for life, period. Now, if you don't want to be in it, play the Melania role and keep your mouth shut, stay in the background, don't show up to nothing, and just stay with the kid. Don't even be in the White House. But if you're going to be the first lady that's talking about everything and in everything, nah, you got to stand on business. You got to hold it down, in my opinion. So I don't know. I just feel like, and again, I've never seen I may not see another black president in my life, right? And one of the last images we have is him standing there by himself, getting booed, looking defeated, because he got booed on that walk-in. It didn't show it in that clip, but I saw the clip where he got booed. And to be dealing with that as a man without your wife by your side, to me, when you have a wife, is crazy. She let him take them boos by himself. But and that, to me, that's fucked up. Now, maybe they had an agreement and an understanding, but then some type of message should have been put out, or some type that still showed we are united, right? But again, that's just my opinion on it. I'm gonna lay in there and let somebody else hop on.
Interesting take there, Clout Jones. Go ahead, Aisha. I know you agree with Clout.
First of all, I want to say, did they mess up his name? Like, that felt purposely done. When they called him out on this last clip, I feel like they messed up. They called him Honor. I don't know. It didn't sound like everybody else's. But I definitely agree with Cloud. I definitely was surprised that she didn't show up, because I would have been standing next to Barack, rain, sleet, or snow, cold, cramps, whatever. I don't understand where that disagreement came from, right? I don't, because I know Michelle to be like in your face. She's going to tell you how you feel. So to not be able to stand there and look at your opponent, that's kind of weak. You know what I'm saying? That makes us look weak. That makes the Black family unit look weak, because they're supposed to be like this sign of, you know, this is what the Black family should look like. And they're supposed to be this example to everyone, to our kids. So for her to not show up is one thing, but to let the rumors fly, to not address why you didn't show up, because you knew you weren't showing up before you wasn't showing up. So why didn't any of your people put out the reason? Like, why is everything such a secret? I don't agree with that. Because there literally could be something wrong, but I think that she should have voiced it and said it, because it doesn't look good. It literally looks horrible to me. Like, I was like, why wouldn't she come? You know, and I feel like that literally made them look weak, because if you can't do nothing else, you got to show up for your man, and she didn't do that. She was about and she went on tour by herself. She's starting to put self in it, because everything that she's doing is for her. And it's supposed to be, like Clap said, for America. We're supposed to be looking at the bigger picture. Everyone sees that everyone is all divided and things are supposed to be crazy. And I feel like you keeping things going and the division going by not showing up. Like, you're creating a whole nother conflict with people. So I'll end.
All right, go ahead, Brother Hink.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. And unfortunately, it fits to that stereotype that some white folks have about our women. That they petty, that they angry, and they could be selfish. It was a lot of self in it. I don't care what type of birthday party she had. I don't care if she came in there drunk and hungover.
I don't care.
Get her coffee, you know what I'm saying? Drag Weekend at Bernie, drag her ass in there, and do it. She don't even have to walk in with it. If that means, you know, she was to the point where she was that bad, go ahead and have a seat, and I'll meet you there. We ain't got to walk together. I know you know, it was a rough night last night. I know you was popping that thing. You had that juvenile playing. I understand. It's all good. But you're going to bring your drunk ass in here. We're going to walk down this aisle. We're going to do it together. Look, I think it was Di talking about it wasn't enough melanin in the audience. Well, Michelle, you could have helped that situation by being a part of the melanin intake. Instead, you chose not to. So now it's one less melanin person in the goddamn crowd. We can't complain about it not there. Look, we know they're going to hang out with people they're familiar with, and he's not familiar with a lot of black people. So the ones that do have the opportunity, why don't we be there? You know how you get back at folks? You look them square in the eye and say, hey, I'm still here, motherfucker. You talk all that weak shit you want to. I'm still here. I don't give a damn. Fuck you. You got lucky. Now, I don't think even if Michelle wanted to run, I don't think they're going to vote her in. Because a lot of people, even on the Democratic side, going to say, yeah, that wasn't a good look, Michelle. That wasn't a good look while what you did, making it all about you. Instead of it being about what honor and what blessings that you and your husband got to do for 8 years to sit in this same position and do this. Now, I fault her for not being there. But what I don't like and what I can't give her no pass for is why was she at Jimmy Carter's funeral? That part irks me more than this. I give her a little pass just because it's Donald Trump and she had an issue with him. I understand. Even though it was weak of you, Michelle, I'm not going to go hard at you on as I probably should. But for you not to be at the funeral, now see, that's something different. That had nothing to do with Donald Trump. Nothing at all. This is, paying your respects for the last time that you ever going to get the opportunity to see this man again. And you wasn't there for that. So what's your excuse on this? Was you celebrate your birthday, for 4 months? Is that what we're doing? You had a 4 month. I know some of y'all sisters like y'all celebrate your birthday all month. But is Michelle trying to do something different? She trying to start a new trend, celebrate her birthday for 4 month time period? I don't know. It's getting started early. I don't know. Is that what she's going on? There was no excuse why she shouldn't have been there. So that part right there, that irks me more than this inauguration. But it's still, you got to be there beside your husband. At the end of the day, like somebody said, man, that man was in a vulnerable spot. He stood up for the Kamala and saying what he said about black men, took shots at us saying what type of black men are we that we don't vote for Kamala. That was crazy. But yet we still stood beside his old weak ass. Even though you did little to nothing for us, we still stood beside your weak ass. And now you're doing this and something. Look, let me say this also. Really, we don't need an explanation. Because whatever they got going on within their family, whatever disagreement they have, that's between them. I don't want no explanation. I don't want no reason or excuses or nothing. Because that's between him and his wife. Even if they're having a disagreement, that's between them two. But at the end of the day, she should have been there.
Hank, I read an article that said she got stuck in Hawaii, actually. She was in Hawaii for her birthday. No, for real, I just read that she was in Hawaii for her birthday. That's why she wasn't able to go to the funeral, because she got stuck because of some reasons for like airfare and stuff like that. She wasn't able to make it to the funeral because she got stuck out there.
Yeah, but don't you think
she can't get a private jet? They're not private jet. Wait,
not anymore. I mean,
or a helicopter.
I think the Migos still flying private. I'm sure Michelle can get a favor.
She definitely
got right where she need to be at.
There's a couple things. One,
I think she's done with politics. She's obviously done with politics, right?
Who, Michelle?
Michelle.
Okay.
I feel like she's done. She has to be at this point.
Yeah, she has to be at this point. I would only assume that she'll damn near be blackballed after this. But Jill Biden and Kamala, they have been they've been beefing as well. The media hasn't been covering it as much. Of course, it's definitely not going to be in black media as much, but they're not on good terms. At the past few outings or gatherings that they had, and they're sitting right next to each other, they barely even acknowledge each other. So if these two women that don't like each other, or at least if it's just Jill, she don't fuck with Kamala no more, she's still there to support her husband. And regardless of what to me, there's just nothing that you can say that will validate not being there, especially if this black man is the only black man standing up there amongst all these white people. And you feel so strongly about all these white people that's there, and you're not there with your man. That's just a problem. A period. I would even say it doesn't matter if you man or if it's white or black. The fact that you're a unit and you're not there to support your husband, that's a problem. I see a lot of people also mentioning that Trump wasn't at Biden's inauguration. That's why we said in the beginning we could understand if they just didn't show up, because we don't fuck with you. Trump don't fuck with Biden. He made that clear. He calls him weak, senile all the time. So why would I be there to support this? If all we can do is respect that. So I would respect that more, that they both didn't show up, much rather than her leaving her man to stand there by herself.
We ever thought about the fact that maybe they had this conversation and Michelle was like, yes, I'll go with you. And Barack, off of what Di stated, was like, well, you were in such a bad place the last time. If it affected her that much, that it's okay. I don't even want you to go. You can stay here. I will take the brunt of all of it. I will go ahead and allow them to boo at me and say whatever they want to say about me, because I don't care. But in regards of just protecting her, he told her to stay back and not even go through that situation again.
For Jimmy Carter's funeral too?
For Jimmy Carter's funeral, I told you it's an article that stated she got stuck in Hawaii. Okay. She got stuck. I'm talking about the inauguration. I don't know all the details, everything, but I'm just saying, just to be devil's advocate and throw a different scenario out there. We're automatically assuming that she just decided, I'm not going, you got to go by yourself. But what if that wasn't the case? What if the case was she stated she was going to go with him? Because in every other aspect in history of them being in office afterwards, they've always, as he stated, showed up as a united front. They've always shown up like that. Now that he is no longer fully, active in politics, she's doing her own thing. I remember a long time ago, Michelle talked about how for a long time she sacrificed a lot of things just to support him and help him get to where he is. And now that was shifting. Now that he wasn't president anymore, he was supporting her in a lot of things. So how do we know, or how can we not at least, hypothesize that maybe he decided to say, it's okay, baby, you can stay at home. Don't you worry about it. Don't you get all frustrated and worked up on coming and supporting me. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I will go by myself just to show them that, we're not backing down, but I don't want you to have to go through it. You could stay at home.
Yeah. So
what if that was the case?
The simple fact that she wrote that book talking about that should show you the complete problem right there. Because when have you ever heard Barack say, oh, I had to go through so much for Michelle? Like, meaning, like, when did he ever explain his duty to her as a burden? You know what I'm saying? But then
she's, that's her reality, Cloud. That was her reality. She never said that she.
But what other first lady did that?
She just
what other first lady came out with a book describing their duty as a burden to their husband as a burden?
She came out with a book about her entire life, and it just so happened that being married to Barack and going through life with him is a part of her story. Her whole book is not about just their relationship. Her entire book is about her.
But why is that the story she wanted to tell?
Journey. Because
our lives are full of stories. But why was it so important to tell that story?
She
because
called it
that
a
was
burden.
a huge thing. No, she said it was 10 years of her life that she did not like her husband because
Why do we
she
need to
felt
know
that
that?
she had to do a lot of things. Because I felt,
So people can
see, you're
understand
taking
what
it
marriage
right. Hold
consists
on now.
of.
No,
Let
I
me
think it
explain.
sets the stage
Cloud,
for the
I
behavior
think
now.
you are
Hold on, y'all.
automatically
One at a
assuming.
time.
So many women think
Oh
it's
my God. I think, Cloud, you are automatically assuming that because she stated that she was downing him or saying that she didn't want to be with him. I felt that she was giving a lot of people, especially Black women, the reality of a long-term marriage. She even talked about it in an interview where she said that you are not always going to be happy. That idea that you'll be happy every single day and you are just going to be so in love with your partner every single day is a lie. You will go through spouts where y'all can't stand each other. But if you want to stay married and make it work, you will push through that. And that was her full story. It didn't stop at I couldn't stand my husband for 10 years. It continued in saying we pushed past that. We got through that. Our relationship prevailed in spite of that. Everybody goes through it. And I felt that that was something extremely important for especially Black women to hear and Black men too, because that's the reality of relationships.
Would it be okay if Barack came out and said 2 hours?
It's too many people talking, so I can't answer everybody's question at the same time.
So, Ty, why couldn't she push through 2 hours then? She pushed through 10 years of being miserable and not happy with this man. She couldn't push through 2 hours to be with this man on the biggest stage?
I am saying, what if she said she would, and Barack decided to tell her, you don't have to. You don't have to push through the 2 hours. You can stay at home. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that
Y'all are
conversation
not
happened.
I feel like a lot
I'm
of
gonna tell
men
you why I
are
don't think that's the
weak and they
case, right?
expect women to do what men could do. A lot of men are
I
weak
don't
and
think
they don't
that's
know
the
how to
case.
hold those type of burdens, especially not for their wife.
Look, the reason why I'm not inclined to think that's the case is simply because, like, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't line up. It doesn't line up
Most men on this
with the
podcast
reality
said they
of the
would
normal
help their
usual
woman hand
behavior.
in public because it makes them feel less masculine in
why?
the face. So I wouldn't be surprised this is something
My
they're
thing
going
is
to
like,
do.
okay, so if
But
his whole
then
reasoning,
they don't have a wife like Michelle Obama.
if his whole reasoning is that he's trying to protect her emotions and stuff, right? If that, let's say that's the reason. Oh, this is so heavy on my wife's emotions. Then why would he be at Jimmy Carter's funeral, sitting right next to the man, laughing it up, having a good old time? Because in my opinion, right, a man who would tell his wife not to come to an event to spare her feelings would damn sure not be seen sitting next to and laughing with the ops. I know that for damn sure.
Exactly. Did they say to each other?
So what I'm
World
saying
wants
is,
to know what political rivals Donald
these
Trump
guys
and
was
Barack
having a good
Obama
time.
were chatting
He's
about
not
at
a
Jimmy
woman.
Carter's funeral.
He's a
They
man,
sure
so a
looked.
man can hold that. Why do y'all expect women to be like men? I'm confused. He's supposed to be at his wife.
I'm not saying a woman would be like a man. I'm saying that a man with a protective instinct, right, who's separating his woman from an environment because of a specific person as an antagonist to her, would never go to said event and then be chummy with the antagonist to his wife. That would be like that would be like your wife telling you. That'd be like your wife telling you, yo, this man. That'd be like your wife telling me, yo, back in the day, this man assaulted me, and then you go to the party and you shake your hands and dapping it up with him. That's crazy to me. No man.
You have to. You keep your friends close, but you keep your enemies closer.
No, he don't have to. He didn't have to sit next to Trump. He could have sat anywhere. He could have sat next to Kamala.
If y'all have not been paying attention to what the politicians been saying, Trump is all about control right now. So I think not only did she do it for her mental health, and I think he respected it, but I think she did that to make a statement. Right now, the way things are going, they even just said they're going to take a lot of information down that help help people become woke. When I started first seeing woke things on the internet when Obama came in the office, I'm like, I'm surprised they letting this be posted, because I remember when it used to be posted back in the day, they would take it down, take it down, take it down, take it down. Then all of a sudden, when he got in office, there was a freedom of speech when it came down to our history that was not in the books. Now they're doubling back and taking a lot of stuff down. A lot of things, don't get me wrong, I do feel like the Republican Party is going to bring a lot of good policies that'll help us get back in a financial way. But far as freedom, a lot of freedom of speech and like on the internet is going to be taken away, and it's not going to be it's not going to be in a y'all just gonna have to see. Y'all just gonna have to see. But at the end of the day,
literally what Trump.
at the end of the day, he's a man. He's supposed to hold that for his wife. If his wife say, I cannot endure this emotionally, because that's what we are, women, emotional creatures. And they had that conversation where Obama even debunked it. She's obviously done with social media right now. No matter what the Obamas do, they have always painted them in a bad light. Y'all can't say, oh, they would have done this and we would have had more respect. No, they don't care. They don't care. Whatever they do, because they're Black, they're going to always treat them like that. And Michelle Obama witnessed that at the last inauguration. So why would she go this time expecting a different?
What happened at the last inauguration?
She said it. She said the way she reacted. She said there was tears, there was emotion. Then to sit on that stage and watch the opposite of what we represented on display, there was no diversity, there was no color on that stage, there was no reflection of the broader sense of America. So I don't know.
The last inauguration was Joe Biden.
But when you look at history, that is how Black, that's how we've always made our statement.
What are you talking about?
You said what?
The last inauguration.
I'm talking about the one she went to that had to do with Trump.
8 years ago?
Yeah, she just now speaking on it.
She's still triggered about something that happened 8 years ago.
Unless you're in that position, you cannot speak for them. Unless you're in that position, y'all can't even deal with the females that's in y'all community. The way y'all talk about them emotionally, y'all can't even get over the last girlfriends that broke y'all heart the way y'all be on here. So for y'all just to judge
now you bleeding again.
Y'all to judge the first lady. She's the first lady for a reason. She's the first lady for a reason.
You're moving first of all, you're moving the goalposts.
Because you sound crazy.
Because it's deeper than what y'all see. One of y'all to just be like, oh, she's bogus. It's like if her husband is okay with it, she's okay with it. Why are y'all using
bad argument?
I'm confused.
You're having that's a bad faith argument, right? We have no idea how this lady feels, right? We can only go off what we've seen, and what we've seen was she didn't show up.
Well, she did speak on it. You can look up the article CNN Politics. She spoke on how the last
do all this
inauguration attended
y'all know damn well she ain't go because she don't
fuck uncontrollably. So yes, she did speak on it. And I'm pretty sure her husband had to wipe those tears. So like Ty said, if he decided to be like, hey, I don't want you to come, I seen how this affected your mental health. I got this. Why he can't have that? I'm confused.
Listen, all that talk y'all talking is for squares, man. I'm sorry, y'all. All that talk you talking is for squares. People with real perception sense see what's going on, man. She ain't go because she don't fuck with Trump, and there's clearly something going on with their marriage that they not talking about. Now y'all could play this game all y'all want and try to come with this mail. Maybe he let her go, but y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. All of us got eyes. All of us can read body language. None of us are children here. Y'all know what's going on, and y'all want to act and play these games like y'all can't see. There's clearly something going on in their marriage. I don't know what it is, but there's clearly something afoot. Clearly she didn't go because she doesn't rock with Trump. Like if she had a brain cancer, she would probably put out a statement, hey, Michelle's not feeling well, whatever, the prayers for Michelle, whatever the case, bro. She don't got brain cancer. She clearly was traveling, so it's clearly she's able to travel. She has access to the best plane. She's a first lady. Like, stop it. Like, please, nobody was going to make her feel uncomfortable. The Secret Service protecting her 24 hours a day. Like, what are we even talking about? Her plane couldn't make it. You're talking about the first lady couldn't get a plane. Like, what are we saying right now?
And this is why I said, black men gonna see that women. Like, whenever we're not doing what y'all want, y'all gonna
the first lady could have got a spaceship if she wanted, man.
They have those reasons, no matter what she did.
Over here talking like we're children.
All that's been discredited for one moment. That's crazy.
We want to get the way it's supposed when we know what's up.
Cloud. We get Trigger now. Go ahead, Trigger.
Yo, what's going on? Good evening, everybody. Yeah, man. This is an interesting topic. I just came on because it's something that I was very passionate about talking about. But let's talk about why this is more important to highlight about Michelle Obama specifically. This is the one lady that should have never done this. All right. When it comes to these like political situations, you got to understand that men, especially men, black men, are disappointed because this is the lady that said, when they go low, we go high.
We go high. Thank you.
She did all that to basically show you. And you got to understand, like, black women do this thing that when you talk about people of other races and their disrespect and all of that, You do it with a sense of moral authority that basically says, I would never do that to you because I'm better than that. Every time a black woman speaks, she uses that tone. So all that Michelle Obama did was show that she's no better than none of these motherfuckers. She's just as petty, right? So this is one of those situations where the respect that people were going to have for black women in the foreseeable future was hanging in the balance. The lady that lost to this dude, lost the electoral and popular vote, sat there like a grown woman and took it. He was talking stuff about her right to her face. She was sitting right next to him, and she sat there like a grown woman and took it. And Michelle Obama ain't making these excuses, so why are we making these excuses for her? Once again, a black man has to look like he doesn't have control of his own household, of his own situation. Laura Bush, a white woman, sat there with her man because of optics. Jill Biden, a white woman, sat there with her man because of optics. They all hate that motherfucker, and they still sat there and took it. But once again, we all have to suffer a bad social image because a black woman got an attitude. We sick of this shit. We're sick of it.
Another thing too, when Obama was addressed, if Michelle is this strong black woman that we've seen all of these years for the past 12 years, she's been this strong black woman, so strong that when Obama was speaking to grown black men, he told them, "Y'all lucky Michelle ain't here." He said this to grown black men. Y'all lucky Michelle ain't here. As if Michelle was going to say something and do something that was going to persuade these grown black men to make a decision. But somehow, some way, she was triggered by standing with her husband amongst somebody that she doesn't feel comfortable with or like. So all of that shit goes out of the window. All we can do is look at what it is that we're being faced with and what is going to be the assumptions, the presumptions. What are people going to think? That's why your image matters. These people have PRs. That they have PR people for a reason. They say, "Oh man, I don't know, Michelle. This might backfire on us. This actually may be a good move." There's a reason why they go through this process, because of their image. So again, you could talk all that shit that she was uncomfortable, triggered, whatever. That's fine. Stand with your husband, or neither one of y'all show up. It's that simple. That now shows that both of y'all are standing in a union as one, as a unit. And when you do the opposite, it looks bad.
And on top of that, if Obama sanctioned that, that was a bad decision. So if people are bringing his leadership into question, like, bro, why would you ever let that go down? You, as a once leader of the free world, you know that that's bad optics. You know way better than that. Should have made her come. Period.
We're gonna let that sink in, man, because I couldn't believe it. I'm just not gonna lie. Everything y'all saying could be true, right? She got an attitude. She's not feeling it. She felt disrespected. Nothing actually matters more than the optics. It ain't what it is, it's what it looked like. Every married man knows this. You could have just had a blowout fight with your wife in the car before the company Christmas party. Get your ass in the car and smile, wave, do all the hugs. Because when people ask you how your marriage doing, we good. We're fine. And we'll finish the argument when we get back in the car. Optics are everything, especially to black people. We have a very bad and negative social image. And she is of the highest echelon of people that have ever touched greatness on earth. She is held to a bigger standard, and she failed. Like, why are we making excuses for her? She failed. Right? And it's the worst optics in history. I took a picture of it. You got George Bush, Laura Bush, Jill Biden, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, her husband, Obama by himself. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And then none of those words were good for black people, unfortunately. So she failed us, for real.
Yeah, she did.
I actually think it should have been more black people present. I think that, I don't know who said it, but I think we should have showed up and showed out anyway. I feel like our presence should have been known. I feel like Black people talk a good game, but are y'all really ready to fight? Because if y'all was, y'all should have been standing right there next to Obama. It should have been way more Black politicians, way more Black senators. All these people that get up and talk all of that woo-woo, none of them was able to go there and look that man in his face. And it felt some type of way when I looked in there and I seen our wife. I'm like, them people could have been there. They had invites too, right? They could have been right up in there. All the Black senators, politicians, oh, we just not gonna go because we don't like him. Not knowing how that really looks. I'm like, y'all gotta go show up and show out. Y'all talk all that noise, but nobody wanted to actually face it and be there. And then in that moment, just to be there is a statement. Like, there's something you ain't gonna never ever get to do again in your life. So if you have that opportunity, why would you even pass that up over something about feelings and emotions? Black people get too emotional about things that don't matter.
Just to add to what Aisha just said, because she said something very profound, and it reminds me of, I don't know if it was during Trump's presidency where he was doing like a State of the Union address or something, or he was talking about the Platinum Plan or something like that. But I remember there was a specific, probably a State of the Union address where he was talking about milestones for the Black community, right? Like he was saying a bunch of stuff for the Black community that was positive. And like they refuse to cheer. So it's like half of the room is cheering and half of them are just like, yo, we not going to cheer. And it's like, bro, like this is good for Black people and y'all not even going to cheer for that. It's like, bro, like politics is supposed to be like, y'all are professionals at the end of the day. Like this is your job. You're professionals and you might have your feelings, but like a win is a win. Just because you don't like the way the win came, a win is a win. Like we got to get over this petty, like childish stuff that we do, because it's like, the world kind of looks at our community as children. The world doesn't look at our community with the same respect as they look at each other. And it's like, sometimes it's because of our behavior. We got to let some of this childish stuff go and be willing to be like, okay, feelings aside, now it's time to handle business. Now it's time to handle politics. Now it's time to make deals. But we always want to be like, oh, well, I don't want to make a deal because this guy don't like Black people. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter if he likes Black people. Make the deal. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if we're not friends. Make the deal. So that's the way I see it.
Look, I look at it like this. We might have dodged a bullet by not allowing Kamala to get in there. If this is an example of how some of the sisters get their opportunity and they get in their emotions, they start acting and moving like this, yeah, we dodge a hell of a bullet because we don't need this. This is not the type of representation that we need as far as us as a Black people. Look, I love y'all, sisters. I love my Black women. But she's on some bullshit tonight. Now, I know y'all riding for her, y'all cheering for her, because that's your girl, because she looked good, she dressed good, her hair was well put together during her 8 years in office. All that's cool. But she looked like a stupid ass right now doing what she did because she's in her feelings. She suffered through 10 years with Obama, supposedly. That's what she said in her book. But she can't suffer 2 to 3 hours to stand there alongside her husband and look like a united front. We gonna let this man know we here. I don't give a damn what he said. He talked all that shit. Cool. Because I'm going to get my opportunity and I'm going to run for office and I'm going to make whatever change I feel necessary that I'm going to make for us as a people and us as a country. But instead, it went just the opposite. Like I said, I don't think she's going to get the opportunity. Even if she doesn't want to do it, she probably had a chance. I don't think she's going to get that chance no more. They not going to look at it as an opportunity as a Democratic representative for the White House.
And I mean, look, Hillary got cheated on in front of the whole world for months. She had to hear in the news cycle, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. She had to deal with they had for months, they were talking about him busting on her dress and using it as evidence. Like this is something that had to replay in her mind for months, maybe years. And it's like, she got to look at that man every day and she's still showing up. She's still riding. She's still a Clinton. You know what I mean? Donald Trump then called her all type of things. They done went to it toe to toe in debates. You know what I mean? She done lost to him and she's still showing up, smiling, doing her little Queen Elizabeth wave. You feel me?
Well,
business as usual. Politics as usual.
Said it though. The 2 women that lost to this dude showed up. And the craziest part is that we talk a big game. That's the thing. It's like out of everybody who talks the most, it's definitely the black woman. Like that's not a bad thing or something me trying to hurt you with it. Y'all talk a lot of shit. You see what I'm saying? So in the times where you're supposed to back it up, we talk the shit with you, right? Like, oh yeah, we got this. Ain't nobody gonna catch me slipping. On my worst day, I'm gonna go in there glowing. He ain't gonna phase me. We talk a lot of shit, and then the lady who lost to him got called all type of names, saying he gonna put her in jail. She showed up. Kamala got mollywop, lost the popular vote. She showed up. You know, so it's like, look, when it counts, man, we really got to understand that the optics matter, and maybe this is a good thing on the low. Maybe this is one of those reckoning moments, because y'all not gonna say it to us. Y'all not gonna say it to us when the dudes are present, but maybe y'all need to have a kumbaya at the next sister circle meeting at the church. Maybe y'all need to talk about how crazy y'all look, because y'all won't say it in front of us, okay? It's unprofessional, but y'all are college educated, right? Y'all college educated, you have children, the leaders of some of your homes and all of this, and this is the way you behave. This is the way that we set examples for our kids. Nah, and when I say nobody gonna catch me slipping, nobody's ever gonna catch me slipping. All right. I'm gonna have the finest suit on, glad handing, shaking hands, and in their ear while I whisper, they'll be like, hey, good evening. I hate your ass, motherfucker. It's a bunch of stuff you can do to show people, like, look, I'm only doing this because I have to, but you got to show up. The importance of showing up cannot, like, we really can't be taking L's. Anybody black cannot be taking L's in the business world, in the political world, because our social image hangs by a thread. And this was just another blow.
Trey, one thing that frustrates me, and whenever we have conversations like this that's focused on the black community, people want to compare it to what white people are doing. Who gives a fuck what white people have done, what they're doing? That don't have shit to do with us. What matters is, what are we doing? Yeah. What is the image that we are portraying? Because yes, that matters. Yes, we are supposed to say something about that. So to people saying, oh, well, Trump did this, and what y'all don't say this, and who gives a fuck what they're doing? They don't look like us. We are focused on us and the state that we are in. We get on this same platform and talk about the miscommunication, the dysfunction in the black family, and the images that's being portrayed. But somehow, some way, we're sitting here trying to validate her not standing there with her husband. That's what everybody is. The people that are upset, that's what their point. That's the whole point of it. We don't give a fuck about nobody else. It's the fact that this first black family of the United States was not there standing together as a unit twice, back to back. That's just a bad look. Stop worrying about what the white man is doing. Who gives a fuck? What are we doing? That's all that matters. But yet we got dad calling us Uncle Toms. That's encouraging.
What?
Thank you for standing by your black men that want to see black family be stronger. Us pouring into and critiquing and calling out what it is that we're doing and where we're failing. You say that you want black men to be leaders. Here we are saying what we need to do as leaders, and you're going against it, calling us Uncle Toms in the chat. So that is the dysfunction is ridiculous. If we're going to do this, let's stand together as a unit. That's what this is all about. Nothing else.
I think we also got to kind of remember who we are. I think that black people today have forgotten who we were. If you go back to like Malcolm X times, you know, Malcolm X would be having conversations with people straight up, calling them white devils to their face. And they still were able to keep the conversation civil. Nobody got disrespectful. Nobody, like, there was a time where black people and black family was the beacon of civility and class in America. And I feel like we forget that. Like, we forget that there was a time where the way our families were set up and the way we were holding things together was envied by others in America, because that time existed. That's a fact. That there was a time that the Black American family was the point of envy for all Americans because of how classy we were, how our families were held together, how we were having higher marriage rates at one point than white people were. So it's like, remember that, and remember like the people before us and the dignity and class that they carried themselves with. Because I'm gonna tell you this, I don't think Coretta would have did that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any one of Malcolm X's wives would have did that. I don't think Malcolm X would have did that. Yeah, I don't think Malcolm X would have showed up and not had his wife with him. So just little things like that. Like if we remember what the Black people's roots really are, the change that we've caused in America, civil rights movement, all that, because we always have this conversation like, oh, we're not a part of the system. We don't have nothing to do with it. And so forget it, whatever. But that's not true. There's been a ton of progress that has happened since slavery that happened here because of things that we did. So we have to remember that that's the power that we have, and that the world definitely looks towards us to make change. That's a fact at the end of the day. That's where we need to be. We need to remember that we're the beacon, and the better we carry ourselves, the better we can be leaders for the world instead of us following the world. But I'm gonna land there.
Let me just make a quick point. All right. Because I think this is also a matter of duty. And I read something in the chat that says people have no duty to the community. Well, I think that's incorrect. Everybody got a duty to something. They got a duty to the sisterhood. And I think the sisterhood is leading a lot of women astray. I'm sorry, Black women astray. Your duty is not to the sisterhood. So just check this out, right? Let's talk about some of the worst things we've ever heard about Black people in this country. Many of us have been called it, and it's been implied about us to our face. Petty, classless, attitudinal, over-emotional, ghetto, unprofessional, rude, right? So if we don't show up to combat those characteristics and say this is not who we are, when we act petty and then brag about it like she got the right and make excuses for it, that is your duty to the sisterhood. You care more about what the sisterhood thinks than making sure that you pave the way for the little girl coming behind you. I understand completely and fully that every young boy in America that looks like me, I have a duty to that young boy. I'm not going to punch this dude in the face because of what he said, because too many people think dark-skinned Black men are violent, even though I really want to punch him in the face. So you got to understand where your duty lies. Do you have a duty to the sisterhood, or do you have a duty to the kids of the future that need to come up with the positive examples and positive social image that we need to create for them? Because I'm telling you right now, when you look at them canceling all this DEI stuff, anything that they can say about you, it just got a little bit more true. It just got a little bit more true, right? Because it may be something we're talking about in these spaces, but they're whispering it to each other elsewhere, right? So I don't want my daughter to be known as petty before she ever utter a word out of her mouth to a stranger. I don't want somebody to look at her as rude or ghetto before they even know who she is. So we gotta be more responsible as people, men and women alike. So this is serious business. So I want people to just, kind of take that away from this convo as well.
All right. Did you want to respond, Dan? Can you hear me, Dan? Oh, you said no? Okay.
I thought you was talking to me. I can hear you.
Yeah, I said, did you want to respond before I go to Ikane?
You can go to the next clip.
Go ahead, Ikane.
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing fine about yourself.
Less than highly favored.
Good. Okay. If you, I gotta say this, right? It's disappointing. It's disappointing because the reason why I gotta say it's disappointing is this, right? Like I said last night, we've given our women all the weapon they need. First, the men told them, the men lied to the women. The reason why I say we lied to the women is because we were looking at what they can give to us, which is something between their legs. But we're not holding them to standard. So you don't want this woman, but you told her that she was the most beautiful thing on earth, even though you're more handsome than her. you know you don't want this woman, but you're willing to give her anything just to live with her. Then she got pregnant. Now you have to live with it. That is why it took me so many years to get married. Why did it take me so many years to get married? Because I had a standard that I want a woman to abide by. And every single woman that I showed my standard all ran away. Until my current wife. She was the one willing to follow that standard. And when she said yes to those standards, guess what happened? She became my wife. She didn't give me her standard because I am the one she has to follow. I don't follow her. So I lay the standard, she agrees to the standard, and then we go with it. Why on earth will a woman come and give you the list of what she wants a man to be, and you say yes? That means she started wearing the pants. When Obama told black men that, oh, you lucky that Michelle is not here, that told me a lot about who wears the pants. Even though this man ordered the killing of Osama bin Laden, this man ordered the killing of so many men out there in the Middle East and around the world, but he bowed down to his wife. That's a disgrace. It happens all over the world. It happens a lot here in America. A woman gives you a list of standard and you said yes, instead of you giving her the list of standard. I tell men this all the time. It's a privilege that she became your wife. It's her privilege. Because without you, she would never have a family of her own. Whenever a woman marries a man, she should go to the man and say, thank you for making me your wife, for choosing me. It's a privilege that I married her. It's not my privilege to marry her. No, it's her privilege. Because I could go to somebody else and she might never be married. There is a reason why only 25% marries today. The reason why 25% marries today is because the rest of the 75% are facing the consequences of their actions. We should know that. The rest of the 75% are facing the consequences of their actions. If they're not facing that consequences, guess what? 85%, 95% would have been married today. Let me land the plane.
Land the plane, you can land that shit.
Hey, shout out to Egan for following directions.
Well, Tad, you've been pretty quiet. What you been thinking about what the gentleman been saying thus far?
You know what? I'm really just taking it all in. Like I stated in the beginning, I really didn't watch it. This is all like my first opinion from seeing it. I think it's a refreshing perspective to see how upsetting this made a lot of men. Me just being a woman, I think Trigger made a good point when he stated that we have a sisterhood in the Black community for women, and we tend to like to defend our other Black women, right? Especially ones that are on high esteem. So instead of me automatically thinking negative, I wanted to, like he stated, make excuses for her, which is true. Once again, I stand by my point that we really don't know the truth, but I do understand how her not being there can be a negative reflection on the Black community as a whole. As we all know, growing up, one bad Black person represents the entire community, unfortunately, and that has just always been the narrative in society. So just as that plays when we have one good person that's doing everything that they're supposed to do, or an actual family or partnership that's showing up and showing out and continuing to uphold that high standard, it does make the entire community look better. So I understand their perspective. I really don't have anything negative to say against it. It was just a different perspective, and I was happy to hear it.
Okay. Get to a few of these super chats right quick. JJ, $2. Appreciate your AP accountability partner $20 says that I understand. You take But understand your take, but what's her excuse for missing President Carter's funeral too? Something is, are we in paradise? We have to quit making excuses for respectful behavior. What you say?
Awry.
Awry.
That's what it's supposed to say.
Okay. JJ $5 said this is one example on why women can't lead, because once their feelings overshadow the bigger picture, oneself is shaking my head. AP $5 says as long as she's married to Barack, she'll never be done with politics. She shined up for this. He's a former president. BZ $5 says maybe Barack is used to code switching and Michelle just doesn't want to be on that fake anymore. JJ with the $5. JJ $2 says talk your ish, Mike. AP $5 says for Sister Aisha. And AP again $20 says let this sink in for a sec. Hillary was there with Bill and has been, and this dude left his DNA on another dress.
Hey, Ty, I do got a quick question though. So why is it by default that it appears that women defend foolishness? Because I'm quite sure that all of the men on the panel, even though we may have different perspectives, right? If it's something that's clearly wrong, we typically all agree and call that person out. Even if it's, split down the middle, people will still pick their sides and call the other side out. So why is it that with women, y'all just innately just defend it?
So I think the confusion here is the statement that you made of innately wrong, right? You know that it's wrong. There have been many times on this show where we've watched other women and I'm able to call them out on their BS. I don't automatically defend them, but I have to feel
That's fair.
that her action is wrong, right? Because there's so much gray space and so much lack of information, I didn't automatically see it as something that was wrong. Now, as you guys continue to talk about it, broaden your idea and your perspective, it got me thinking like, well, okay, I understand their perspective. Maybe, yeah, she should have been there. It does affect us on a broader scale. But just from looking at that clip, that wasn't my instant reaction. My instant reaction was Michelle has always held herself at a certain standard. So there has to be a reason, right? Maybe something was wrong. Maybe they did have a conversation. I don't think all women decide, or all Black women automatically just decide to defend other Black women. If we know that they did something wrong, like me, for instance, I'm not going to instantly defend them. I'll call them out on their BS. But in this situation, that's just not how I felt. It wasn't innately wrong automatically for me.
That's fair.
So would you consider that disrespectful then? Not wrong, but disrespectful.
Now that from you guys' perspective, yes, I do understand why you feel it is disrespectful, right? I understand it completely. From me initially watching it, no, I didn't think it was disrespectful. Maybe that was a decision that they decided. Like I said in the beginning, I thought that was a decision that maybe they decided together. Maybe she felt like she didn't want to be a part of it, and Barack was like, cool, it's no big deal. I'm gonna just go and represent us.
Real quick, Ty.
Now, okay.
So if you were in that position, right? Your man was like, "Hey, babe, I got this award show that I got going on. Is somebody there that you don't like? You know that this is important to him.
Yeah,
you'll still go."
I would still go. Right? But I can't speak on her behalf. She's been in this game for a long time. I don't know what conversations they had or how they felt. I am not sure of that. Would I have been there? Yes, because I don't want to be, like you guys stated, I just wouldn't want him to be the only one there showing up, especially as a Black man. But we don't know a lot of information here.
So Ty, you gotta understand what you just did there though. So you said Black women don't automatically defend Black women, right? But they
not
do.
in all cases.
Hold on. But they do, because you're saying that we are void of information, but you already made assumptions about why she could not attend. But remember, only black women get that grace by other black women, because if the situation was reversed, the black man is automatically wrong. He does not get the benefit of the doubt. Hold on. If it's white women, they automatically wrong. They have a bias. So what you did was like you implied that she has a reason. That's why she's not there. We don't know. None of us know. But you're automatic. I think black women automatically give other black women the benefit of the doubt, and I just watched you do that several times.
While
Understandable.
also saying that there wouldn't be a reason sufficient for you.
Yep.
Correct from me watching it, but I feel like you guys also jumped over the whole fact that I stated there have been many times, and Trigger, you haven't been here on the panel with me. There have been many times that Viz and Hink and even Cloud, even though he might not want to, can contest to, where I have called black women out on their BS. I'm not always automatically on a black woman's side. What I stated is when I watched it, my initial perspective of the situation was that she wasn't wrong, right? There maybe were certain other things that happened that was a reason why she wasn't there. I can't explain that on her behalf. But after you guys explain the perception of how not only black men, but how it affected the black community, and you think on the broader scale, then it's like, okay, well, yeah, maybe she should have been there regardless to whatever it was, right? But I mean, I do still stand by my initial statement of stating that I didn't think she was wrong from my initial perspective of that situation. And it's only really because of how oh, it's a lot of talking. I ain't finished.
Hold on.
It's really just because of the high standard that Michelle already has. I understand y'all really excited to talk, so I'm gonna land.
All right, let's go to Aisha, and then we'll come to you. Go ahead, Aisha.
I just think that you are not holding Michelle to the same standard that you will hold yourself, because you literally just said, I would be there. I ain't trying to below us, but Michelle is like somewhere up there, right? We are down here. You literally like, I feel like, no, my immediate reaction when I seen that didn't even have to be Barack or Michelle, right? That could be my sister and her husband. If I show up somewhere and my sister husband is there and she's not there, I'm gonna be like, why ain't she here? It could be the son of these things, right? So I'm gonna innately be like, why is this person not here? To me, in my mind, even in my nephew's recital, there's no reason why my sister not gonna be here. She must be dead or something, right? So when I seen Michelle not there, in my mind, I'm like, she must be literally on her deathbed. Ain't nothing in my mind was like, oh, maybe her and Barack had a conversation. No, because there was no conversation. Michelle knew last month she wasn't coming because the inauguration is the same date every 4 years, right? Same date. She knew last month she wasn't coming. And that had nothing to do with Barack, obviously, because he walked out of there by himself. So I think that in certain situations, and Ty is one, she's going to hold black women accountable. But in this instance, you are not. I don't know if it's because she's Michelle Obama. You hear the angel wings flapping when you hear her name. I don't know what it is. Because I have much respect for Michelle Obama. I love her. But
that is the reason. Because if Michelle is doing it, it has to be a reason why she's doing it.
No, she's doing it like that for the other reason other black women would do it. That's why, girl. That's why. Michelle, she don't get no pass, obviously. Like her character and what she's done for America do not matter. Like, her history don't matter. None of that matters, girl. It don't matter. It don't matter. She's just a black woman that did something wrong.
For real.
With all the other black women who do shit wrong. It don't matter.
But no, Dot, like,
don't matter.
we're disappointed that you would take it like that. Like, Michelle Obama is not even just another black woman. She is. I try to put her up there. She's up there. So you have a responsibility. But you know what about this situation is unique? This particular situation, because she did it, because she's Michelle Obama, this is a microcosm of the bigger problem that's going on in the black community.
So we should have talked about it when Trump.
Hold on real quick. I can break it down just on what women need to do moving forward. The problem with the black family is that women choose themselves too often when they should choose the man and they should choose the family. Men take hits for the family all the time. We stay in the workforce the entirety of our lives, all that type of stuff for the family. We don't leave the woman even though she's tripping for the family, so on and so forth. And when you choose yourself and you choose to stay on code, it not only is it good for no one, as we can clearly see, her own reputation is going to take a hit. So choosing yourself actually is not a good thing. I choose myself. I choose my peace. No, her reputation is taking a hit because of this. You should choose the family. You should choose to stand by your man because those optics are good. You can go have you can make him take you on a vacation. That was very stressful. All right, I'm a Barack Obama. Where the hell you want to go? I'll tell the Secret Service. Right? So you need to understand that selfishness is not good for you ultimately. I think we have created this aura around choosing yourself like it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. Any man that chooses himself and decides not to take care of his family will be irrevocably shamed throughout his life. So women need to choose their man and choose their family more often to show a united front, and our image will be better for it.
Hey Trig, I'm curious if just imagine if Barack Obama wrote a book and said that for 10 years he hated his wife.
Exactly. That was the point I was making.
Didn't want to support. Yeah, she used all types.
I didn't want to support her.
Like
I didn't want to support her.
Just imagine.
That's okay.
Just imagine
It's real.
the backlash that black men.
But that's not your reaction. Wouldn't be as real if it was real.
If
it is
reaction
real.
that's real.
And then if he goes to explain it the way Ty said, Michelle Obama explained it, to let men know that it's not always going to be happy. Sometimes you have to put your wife's feelings first. Sometimes you have to come through and stand up and take certain things for your wife. If he explained it the way Michelle Obama did, maybe it would be more black marriages. But even on this podcast, when y'all talk about y'all husband duties, y'all come off as it's a burden for y'all. So what's the difference? I'm confused.
Yeah,
let's be honest here, because what you said was cool. Like what you said was cool and all. Like you say a lot of real cool stuff that sounds real nice, right?
It's
but
not
in
cool.
real life, right? Hold on. I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk though. I'll let you talk. In real life, though, right? In real life, we know what would happen to Barack Obama if he ever even hinted at hating anything about his wife for any moment. If he even said he didn't like her wig once, we all know what would happen. Oh, you don't love black women. You hate your own kind.
Let him try it. We wouldn't trust y'all, but let the president try it. I bet a lot of black women will listen.
Hold on, let me finish talking. Let me finish talking. We know the common phrase, right? Oh, he disrespected a black woman. It's a common phrase. Anytime a black man says anything corrective or makes any judgment about the behavior of a black woman. And I think that's more so what Trigger Mike was essentially trying to say, right? Black women or women in general have difficulty making judgments about other women, even if the behaviors of those women are in direct conflict with their own morals and their own standards. So Ty was clear. Like when we asked Ty, what would you do? Right? She clearly said, oh, I would have went. But then when we asked her to make a judgment on Michelle Obama's behavior, it was, well, I don't know. I need more information. But with the information that was there, if it was you would have acted differently. So your actions show that you would not do what she did. So clearly it's wrong because it would be wrong for you. But rather than make a objective assessment and a judgment and say, I'm going to judge this as wrong, I think women try not to do that because they know that may open them up for judgment on their own behaviors at some point. So they just say in general, I'm just never going to make judgments on other women. I'm only going to say that I wouldn't do that. But when it comes to applying my moral standard to making a judgment about someone else, I can't make a judgment. But y'all have no problem making a judgment about men's behavior. So it's very interesting.
I feel like a lot of men are coming from weak standpoints. I'm going to stand on that. I feel like if I didn't have the mental capacity to go somewhere and my husband told me, hey, babe, I got your back, you could sit this one out, I'm going to sit that one out. And if my husband could still go
in there. How can someone who doesn't have the mental capacity make an assessment on someone being weak?
As I was continuing saying, because I've been letting y'all talk for an hour and 43 minutes. If my man can tell me he can go in there and shake their hand and do his business and still handle what he got to do without me, that's fine because my man's strong enough to do that. If my man understands that I've been the strong one for a certain amount of time and he understands this and that, then yes, I'm going to stay home, especially if I was crying uncontrollably, sobbing. Like I said, there's different
Wouldn't that make you weak?
articles on CNN news outlets that
Well, wouldn't
speak
that make
about
you
how
weak?
Michelle
Hold on.
Obama
Pause 1 second.
felt. I'm
One
not
second,
done
Doc.
talking. And
Cloud,
like
let her
Ty
Doc.
finish. Let
said,
her
How
finish.
can you
like
make an
Ty said, and
assessment
I've only
on
been talking
weakness?
for 60 seconds, and I've been looking at the
You ain't
clock.
saying
But
nothing
as
really.
Ty
Keeping
said,
it a
Ty
G.
cannot. She don't know what Michelle Obama has endured. But y'all, this look pretty. This is just y'all on the outside looking in. But to be in those environments with these people, you don't understand how that feels. So until then, leave it alone. Because I didn't see nobody sticking up for Kamala when she was up there and she still tried to shake his hand. I didn't see no podcast about how that's what a black woman should continue to do, stand with integrity, da-da-da-da-da. Y'all don't have our backs when it comes to us
What do
enduring
you mean? We
bullshit, but
just
y'all
talked
want to
about
call us out when
being there.
y'all feel like we're putting out bullshit. That's lame.
Sugar Mike
That's
just
lame.
gave Kamala praise for that. See what I'm saying?
Look, we
Sugar
don't
Mike
applaud
just
fish
gave
for
him praise for
swimming.
that.
It wasn't the whole podcast. Yeah, y'all did on this podcast, but
We don't applaud fish
why
for
aren't there
swimming.
podcasts about the
What-
women
what
that
you-
we should be supporting and the
That's
women
another
that's
problem.
supposed to be
Y'all
examples
want
to
praise
America?
for
Y'all
doing what
always
you're
want
supposed to
to put
do.
up podcasts about the examples that we don't want
You
to be.
want praise for doing
I'm
something you're
confused.
supposed to do. Now,
And then
hold
y'all
on.
get
Now,
on her
I just want to
ass
address what
as
you
if
said
she
earlier, Di.
as
Hold
if
on.
she
Let me
did.
address what you said
Like,
earlier, real
y'all, the
quick,
only
Di.
thing y'all can
Because
really name
you,
that
a
y'all
second
didn't
ago,
agree with is
Di,
that she
you
didn't go to
literally said,
inauguration.
Man,
And then her
it was
husband
supposed to
told
be
her
my
that. I
turn
don't
to talk.
understand
You
why
guys
y'all.
just took over the
hold
whole
on.
damn conversation. I
I
couldn't even
just
say
literally
nothing.
said,
Man, I
I
thought I
just
had at
literally
least
said, men are
120
weak.
seconds. Y'all didn't talk
Just
for
hear me
an
out real
hour
quick,
and
Di. You
45
just said that
minutes.
men are
This is
weak,
why I'm in the
right?
chat
You
now.
said men are weak because you're sobbing uncontrollably and can't control your emotions. And you,
I
the
chose
person
to
who's
come on here.
sobbing
I chose
uncontrollably,
to come on here being
trying to
vulnerable.
make an
Trust me,
assessment
it won't
on
happen
someone
again
else's
because the way
emotional
y'all
strength
judge
is
it. This is
crazy.
the problem.
How does
Y'all
that
want
make
black
sense
women
if
to
you
be
can't control
vulnerable.
your own
Y'all want us
emotions?
to be
How,
emotional.
I
Y'all
can't
don't
even
want
talk.
us to
You're
be
gonna keep
angry. But
yakking,
when
bro.
we do be vulnerable, y'all try to throw it in our
Keep
face.
yakking
I
about
promise
nothing.
y'all won't see a tear from me on this podcast no more. I can bet money on that. I can show y'all how hard I can
Sound
be.
like you about to
No
tear
more
right now.
vulnerability
Your voice
because
cracking
that is what
already.
y'all do.
So
When it's
hold
time
on,
for
y'all.
a
Hold
black
on, hold
woman
on,
to be
hold on, hold
vulnerable,
on, y'all.
y'all
Hold
still
on,
tell her to go up
hold
there
on,
and
hold
do
on.
what you're
That's the only
supposed to
reason we
do,
ain't gonna
even
see
though
a
her
tear
man
because
told her, I
you're gonna
can't
cry. You
understand
can't
your
help
limits.
it.
Y'all
Hold
don't
on, y'all.
understand women limits. That's
Let's get
the
back on
issue.
track. Let's get back on
That's why
track.
people not
No,
getting
Let's
married
get back
because
just
on
y'all
don't
don't
track.
have
know
any
how to be
emotional
men.
Let's
stability.
get
You
back
just
on
don't have
Y'all
the
track.
weak.
Let's
emotional
get back
stability
Y'all
on
weak.
to have
track,
Y'all
men
y'all.
that's
making
not
Obama to
monogamous
be
women.
Bad
strong.
clout.
Y'all
Bad
weak.
clout.
Weak.
Listen,
Bad clout. Let's
And
get
I
back on
am
track.
angry.
real
Not
women got
Let's
control
get
of
on
back.
their
the, about
emotions.
this topic.
That's the
Let's get
difference
Yeah,
back.
between
I
a
Let's
am
girl
get
and a
back
passionate
to
woman.
the
about it.
topic. Let's get back to the topic.
Women
Let's get
control
back
their
to the
emotions.
topic.
When a
Let's get
man
back.
say let's stop talking, let's stop talking.
let's do this. Let's do this because everybody's inferring, like, making a speculation about what they think happened. Here's why I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you. That position where y'all said, I think Ty said it and Di said it, right? He may have told her, hey baby, you don't have to come. Let me tell you why that's less than likely. There's an unspoken rule that the man that cannot control his woman is the weakest man in the room. I don't see a man, especially a former president, with all white counterparts, making a conscious decision to say, let me look like the one who got the wife that can't fall in line. That is less than likely because he already knows that's what people think anyway, right? I don't want to take any hits. Now, this is another reason why it's less than likely. In a political space, somebody's always watching. This is a televised inaugural event. Everybody's either going to see it or everybody's going to hear about it. It is less than likely that a man is going to say, why don't I just let you make me look like the weakest nigga that ever lived and can't control himself? Let people speculate and talk shit about me that I'm not hetero, that I like men, that my wife's really a man. Let me just give them more ammo and more fuel. Hell no, I don't see that happening. Our ego can't really take a lot of stuff. Like I say it all the time. But one of the reasons I think he was chumming it up with Obama at Jimmy Carter's, with Trump at Jimmy Carter's funeral, was because he was trying to create another moment to distract from the fact that his wife won't there. I see men do it all the time. All the time. When everybody's talking about you, like, why she ain't? Well, I knew they were having trouble. That person just start acting real, like, you see what I'm saying, just to take everybody's mind off it. So no, I think it's very unlikely that a man would want to cause that much drama and hearsay about his marriage, about his wife's ability to cooperate. No, I don't want nobody asking no questions. Go in that bitch and act like a robot. Take some Ativan, take a Percocet, something. Straighten your back up. Do something. Like, you know what I mean? This is how men talk to their wives. You're not about to have me out here looking crazy. I sat there at your cousin wedding after this, like, you know what I mean? So no, I don't think that's likely at all. But that's just my
what everybody.
Let me say something real. Hold on. I ain't been speaking. Let me say something real fast. I know this time last Wednesday, my buddy accused of me being mean, harsh, and aggressive. But as you notice, even while Di's calling us all black men weak, saying we all hate black women, your boy Hink did not one time get aggressive, wasn't harsh, or did anything. Matter of fact, I did Di a service by showing how much I love black women by saying, Di, do not post a picture of your parents. It's not worth it. But somebody in the next Wednesday or so will call me mean, said I'm harsh, and I'm aggressive. I'm going to pray for that sister, no matter what. I'll land my plane.
Okay, this is something that I gotta say, right?
Go ahead.
It's very disappointing.
Deacon a visitor. We ain't worried about him. Aisha, what you say now? Go ahead, Aisha. What'd you say?
Hey, I honestly don't know come around. Like in a week's time, I am so proud. I sent some prayers up, and I said, me and him, we gonna have an understanding. And look at that. Look at God. Yeah, he been helpful all night. He ain't called Michelle a helper or nothing. I just knew Michelle was finna get the H word tonight. Prayers do work. They do.
Hey, I got a letter from HR, and I was asked to limit my name calling of heifer to one a show. So I'm not gonna let it burn.
No, what I on the real note is, Don, you hear me talk on this panel a lot about black people and black women getting on code, right? And when we talk about getting on code, that's something that we as black people know, right? The dominant society, they don't even matter, right? We're not even supposed to see them. Michelle's supposed to float so high, we don't even see them because we all on code and we on a mission to get things right for our community. We can't get that right when people let emotions and attitudes get in. Michelle got a job to do, right? We still got to be in there trying to get things done because Trump in office, that's not supposed to. I feel like in politics, Michelle just said black women back about 10 years. They ain't even gonna let us join the party. That's how
Aisha, I get what you're saying. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. When you do, I can, like you said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right, but you just called us all Uncle Toms and said we was weak. Like that's
like I said, Aisha.
It's so
that's all I'm gonna say.
It's so contradictory. What we see.
No, I give y'all the energy that's put out. That's it. Period. The energy that's put out.
What we see is selfishness.
And what I see was disrespect for y'all to group her with women after all for her to be where she is, she's there for a reason. So like they say, I understand what Aisha is saying 100%.
Because she married a winner.
But we as women, we're not robots. We're not. And to me, when somebody in that position makes something like that, she's trying to send a message that she obviously can't talk about. There are things and there are politicians that's been saying things like, we can't do this, we can't do that now that he's in office. Trump, his first go round was just to test his waters to see what he's going to do. Now that he got these billionaires behind him, even the dude, Mark Zuckerberg, was not a Trump fan. He was not always a Trump fan. For him sitting there behind him, I'm looking at him like blink twice if it's something you got to say. For real, for real. So when it comes to her making that stance, to me, it means something is going on that's bigger than what any of us can see. That's my opinion. But based on what Aisha said about how it can set Black women back in politics and it can stop us from going forward and making moves that we want to move, I agree with that. I do agree with that. But the way y'all came up here and tried to group her with other Black women who have not made nearly as much accomplishments as her is whack as hell.
Oh, so your only concern is Black women and not Black men?
No, it's about how you tell Black women about themselves and how y'all judge them based on the mistake that they made. That's how I feel.
What I said, judge. It's that judge
And then
word.
all of a
I
sudden
told
she
you.
don't show up for one thing
Who's
and she's not
muting me?
supportive of her husband. Like I said, maybe her husband said, okay, you have been supportive of me. You have endured in life. I seen how the last inauguration hurt you. I see how that had a mental effect on you. Maybe it took her
Biden was
years
the
to get
last
over, but y'all
inauguration.
mad at her husband for wanting to be strong and y'all calling her weak. That's lame as hell to me.
She is weak. That's it's a selfish act. So two things. The two points that we address with her not showing up. And also let's go back to the book. If this woman said that she hated her husband for 10 years, right? You just said basically that it's not what you do, it's how you do it. There was a very easy way to say, for 10 years, I was frustrated with Barack. For 10 years, it took us a long time to get through this period of time for us. That's a very easy and soft way to say, hey, you know what? Marriages is work. Barack was going here, going there. He was all over the place. I felt neglected, but I understood it came with the job and the position that he was in. But guess what she said? What did she say, Ty? She hated the man for 10 years.
She did, but she expounded off of that. So
And that's what I don't like. They want us to sugarcoat things. If she would never say, I hate it, we as women wouldn't even understand the passion behind how she felt and how withdrawn she was from her.
Hold on, y'all.
To let us
Viz
know that's
and
part of
Viz
it.
and that. Viz and that. Hold on, Viz and that for a second. I just want to see if you guys are understanding one another, right? So I'm gonna start with you first, Viz. Based off of what Dad said in like a minute and 30 seconds, what are you hearing her say about this whole thing? And then I'm gonna come to you, Dad, and ask you the same question. I just want to see if you guys are understanding each other's point, because y'all just standing on business for how y'all feel, but y'all listening to one another to understand where the other person is coming from. So Viz, you go first. What are you hearing Dad say?
What I'm hearing Dad say is making excuses as to why she was not standing there with her husband. My mental health was a problem. So because I'm gonna be selfish and not consider my family and the unit and the way that we are going to be perceived in the world, not just in Illinois, not just in the Midwest, but the world. So that now is irrelevant. I'm only worried about what is most important.
I just want to know what
that's what I'm hearing her say.
Okay, so you're hearing her say what again?
That she has a right to be selfish.
She has a right to be selfish because of what?
Because of her mental health or whatever excuses she was saying that she said.
Okay. Da, what are you hearing Viz say?
That she has no excuse. She's not allowed those mental health days because of her position. Her position is so high that those mental health days can impact our community.
Okay, so can you guys understand each other's point? Where would you guys say that each other's point is fair?
I understand their point, but the way they came out here and just chew her out like that and tried to be like, and this is what most Black women do, and no, I don't.
I just want to say on if you thought Viz made a fair point. Like, you may not totally agree with everything he's saying, but his point was valid.
I agree. Yeah, okay. Because I'm not. I'm not stuck in my own ways and my own feelings. So yeah, I can understand
That's all I
where
want
Biz
to
is
know.
coming from.
Biz,
I'm diverse like that.
but can you understand her point?
Hell no.
Okay, why can't you understand her point?
Because she's the first lady. She married a man that got into politics, that became one of the most powerful men in the world, and he's also a black man amongst other white men. So there's no excuses for that. With great power comes great responsibility. So if you signed up for that, then that's what you are committed to. That's what marriage is. There is no excuses. But she believes that a strong black man that's a leader and that feels that way is a weak man, and which doesn't make sense at all.
Okay, I can see you guys speaking from two different points. It almost seems as though Viz is speaking from a biblical like principle, as far as she is married and she has a duty as a wife. That's how Viz is speaking, and it sounds like that. I have heard you speak. I can understand where you're coming from. So, like, based off you guys' personalities and how you guys speak on the panels, I can see how you guys feel the way you feel. But I just wanted to see if you guys were just listening to each other. That was the whole point. Because y'all just going back and forth, and we really ain't going nowhere. Y'all just saying the same
I
shit
just
over.
think that people use mental health as an excuse to be weak. Like every time something happens, they be like, oh God, my mental health. Like, when do people become this weak? Like, this lady is the first lady of the United States. Her mental game is A1. She got, I just don't believe that. And I think that we do that as a community because the dominant society does that, right? They use mental illness as a place that they can run and hide and use as an excuse. That's not an excuse.
Aisha, how long did you hate your husband before you divorced him?
My 17 years.
Okay, right? Then. So what do you mean? Your mental, but obviously your mental health has something to do with why you left.
Can you just let her finish, please, or die? Can you just let her?
For their mental health, when you can't say what they have to endure during that time period. Obviously, mental health matters to some
having
capacity.
a bad faith argument, first of all, because it can't.
Go holla.
We can only
go ahead.
You're having a bad faith argument because it can't be proven. That lady mental health is A1 as far as I'm concerned.
How do you know that?
How don't you know that?
Because she talked about it when she was talking about how the last inauguration affected her. That's why I looked at an article.
That's the last one or the last?
The one that she went, the last Trump inauguration.
We can only go off of
8 years ago.
It don't matter. That's the thing, because y'all as men don't feel what women feel. Y'all try to discredit it, and that's fucked up. And then y'all got so many black women in this community with attitudes, because if they cry and show emotion, y'all want to talk shit. That shit lame.
Aisha ain't no man.
I'm not a man. And I felt the same way, my darling.
Two women on here feel the same way.
Right? But I just feel like you guys are moving the goalposts. We can only go off of what we know and what we seen. We can't go off the what ifs. I don't do gossip blogs. That's why I don't know what's going on, right? I go out fast, open up books and I read. I'm reading some books right now. I got it right here, How to Be a Team Player. I read books. So I go off of what I see and what I know. And what I know is her ass didn't show up for that black man. And I hate that y'all keep going around it, right? That man was wholeheartedly embarrassed. What she did was wrong. And instead of you just saying that, oh, well, maybe she was sick that day. Girl, none of that matter. We go to work when we sick all the time. My daughter went to school, it was -5 degrees yesterday. So what are you really talking about? I feel like y'all sometimes it's just unrealistic with you, Di. Like, it's unrealistic to even have that assumption because you don't know. We going off facts. How did you feel when you seen that man there by himself? Like he was there without his wife? Like she should have been there? And I don't care why. Because it's bigger than Barack. It's bigger than Michelle. It's about the American people. It's about Black American people. right? So she was wrong. She should have been there. I don't know why that's so hard for you to say. Michelle
Aisha,
Obama was wrong. She should
Aisha,
have
y'all know what I just realized? Anybody who's struggling to understand the premise of what's been said this evening, this whole conversation is its own checkmate. All right. So all you got to do is show up and people can't speculate. You see how we all talking about what we thought happened and what could have might been? All you got to do is show up and not say a damn word. And can't nobody speculate nothing about you. That is the importance of showing up and playing your position. All of these assumptions and they could be getting a divorce and quiet all that noise by just taking your ass to there in the first place. So this whole conversation is just example to show you the drama you can cause and the speculation you can cause by not being there. You know what I mean? So
The sad thing about our women is this, right? They believe that they cannot be held responsible for anything, so they will use mental health to defend their shortcomings, or use zodiac sign. Those two things, zodiac sign and mental health, and those two things is just to avoid being held responsible. If you hold her responsible, she say, "Oh, I have a mental health issue." You hold her responsible for one other thing, she say, "Oh, my zodiac sign." When can you stop and understand that two people are responsible for family name, a father and a mother? When your child misbehave, they call the father and the mother. The mother cannot come and say, "Oh, I have a mental health issue," or "I have a zodiac sign." No, you gotta understand. I don't know if you ever been married before or die. The thing about life is this, right? When your husband says, "Let's go somewhere," you go there with him. Because number one, you're the image of your husband. You're a custodian of his name. And men show their wives in public to make other men understand that my wife is well treated. If your husband should go somewhere and other men brought their wives, and you the only one missing, first occasion, people will understand. But second occasion, hell to the no. You got a problem as a woman by not showing up to 2 occasions in a row. And then the next thing you're trying to say the woman may have mental health issue. How do you know she has a mental health issue? That's a big problem if she has a mental health issue. It's a big problem. That means she's not worthy of anything. We got to teach our women to understand the consequences of life. They have to understand the consequences of life. And the reason why a black woman, both in Nigeria and here, can act the way they are is because from childhood, they are not taught responsibility. They are not held accountable for anything. We let them get away with something because they are girls. And when they're married, they can't stay in a relationship because guess what? They've never been held responsible or held accountable for anything. Not showing up to a function with your husband is highly disrespectful. Other people's wives. Hillary Clinton is 80 years old. She showed up to both occasions. I'm gonna land. White women understand accountability. They understand responsibility. That is why they behave no matter what. That man cheated on his wife, and his wife never backed down, even after all these years. If Obama had cheated on Michelle, you think they're still gonna be married by now? She would have been gone a long time ago. We all know that. She would have been gone. In fact, all these sisterhoods would have told her to dump his ass and be gone. They would have backed her up and encouraged her to leave her husband. The sisterhood would have done that. Alan.
Yeah, I know this goes both ways too, right? Because I don't want to exhaust the women with the duty speak, but I want y'all to understand that, like, let's just be real. And my woman can never do duty better than I could, so that's why I have so much expectations of her, right? So this works both ways. You can never get caught slipping, right? I can't even remember how many places, but my wife say, "Look, there's people going to be here. I'm trying to get this position or get this school contract. The superintendent's going to be there." She don't have to tell me to go get my hair cut for the occasion and take my suit to the dry cleaners. I'm going to make sure that I got the appropriate socks. Like, damn, where my dress socks at? Because this is navy blue, right? She don't have to do all of that. I already know. Don't get caught slipping. I got to look good. This is important. All hands on deck. This works both ways. All right. So it's not a matter of if. I mean, unless I physically can't be there, I'm going to be there. That's how important representation is. It cannot be lacking. And then we cannot suffer. People cannot suffer, what do you call it? Ego blows. They cannot suffer image blows. Right? Everything hangs in the balance. 80% of Fortune 500 CEOs are married. I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with their image. They need to look like clean, well put together, responsible men and women. So that's why they always making sure that's the image they project out into society. So we just got to do a better job at that. It definitely works both ways. So it's not just on y'all.
Yeah. And something else I just want to highlight too is the position. He held one of the highest positions in the world, if not the highest position in the world. And so when you think about branding, because there's still a brand and how important it is to like maintain it, and I think you can understand. If we just talking about regular folks, everyday folks, like husband had a corporate dinner. She didn't make it. It's probably easy to be like, oh yeah, she's home with the kids. But because of that position and so much attention around it, I think it should just be an understand. It should just go without saying. I don't think you really have to explain. Now, we don't know what exactly happened, why she wasn't there, but it just looks bad, right? It just doesn't, like, presentation wise, it looked odd just seeing him walk. And then we seen that at the funeral, she wasn't there. It's like, man, what's going on? That just doesn't seem right, for just a former president to be walking without his wife, and she's been supportive there. It's not like they got to do that all throughout the year. It's not like this. We're talking about 2 times within a year's time. It's not really a big deal. It's like you show up, be there, be present, have some fake smiles and fake handshakes, and then you're just going about your business. Well, and they probably ain't got to do that shit for another 4 years unless another president die. I think we just really overthinking this whole thing. It's not a hard ask for her to be there. At least I don't think. But if they had an understanding, then it is what it is. But I just think that with him holding one of the highest positions, it's kind of difficult for us on the outside looking in to be like, man, she should have been there. Just for like so many reasons.
For her to be doing something out of character like this, I am wondering how she feels and what she's going through.
Really mad.
She need to bring her ass.
I've noticed in my time when I've seen great people do something out of character, 9 times out of 10 they're going through something that we probably wouldn't understand. So,
and they make medication for that. Or pop 2 of them.
That's also usually the fall, the beginning and the end.
I do agree that I wish that if this does have an effect on how Black women, their ability to get into leadership roles, and if this did make a lot of, if this did hurt marriages more than, I guess the other shit that's actually hurting marriages if that did have this impact, damn, that's fucked up. And I wish she would have thought about that before she didn't show up.
Aren't you the same person that say that that influencers and rappers and all this other stuff impact the community?
Yes, but when I've heard other people, black people, takes on it, I've never heard what y'all like throwing it to the
Okay.
point that y'all
So
throwing it. I did not
so
hear nobody throwing it that bitch like this.
okay.
Like this
So
was the first time that I heard it like to this extent.
this is the first time that you heard men say that women should stand by their husbands.
No, not standing by their husbands. I feel like she been standing by him. I feel like he did something for her this time. I feel like it's okay for your husband to do something for you.
Not like this. Not at
Well,
the
then that's
expense of
your
his own.
opinion. What works for your
Not
marriage
that,
works for your marriage. But I think that's another problem with the black community. Everybody's
think
trying
the
to mirror
difference,
somebody else's marriage instead of doing what works best for them.
Wait,
but there's a difference though,
wait, hold on,
because
Cloud.
the L she took was for the benefit of both of them, whereas the L that he's taking, only he's taking that L. So maybe he did take a L for her, right? But only he had to sit there and get booed by himself. Her
She's
taking
taking
that
it down
L
worse
for
than
10
him.
years.
Everybody is now on
Hold
the
on, but
blog
her
talking
taking
about
that
how
L,
he
hold on,
didn't
let me
show up with
finish,
his
die.
wife. They're talking
Let me
about
finish,
Michelle.
die. Let me finish, die. Her taking that L for all those years is how she ended up being the first lady and being able to be on TV and be dancing on Ellen and be getting all the finest clothes tailored for her and be able to rub shoulders with all the wealthy people and get to be praised on every magazine talking about how she's so classy and the most elegant first lady. She gets all of those perks because of what she went through. He's not getting no perks for taking this L. This actually is an L on their entire brand that they've built. So it's
And they're
like
taking it together.
It's
And they're
almost like
taking
she
it
took
together.
that L. It's almost like she took that L in vain, because you took all that L to build your brand up to this point, and now at the peak of your brand, you want to knock it down another peg. Like, what was the point of that? So why suffer them 10 years if you're just gonna go out sad?
I can agree with that, Clout.
All right, cool. And the last thing I wanted to say, this might be I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but respectfully, situations like this are kind of why where a lot of women are losing high earning black men to white women. Because guess what? When these basketball players have galas to attend and fundraisers to attend where it's $20,000 a plate, when they got to rub shoulders with CEOs and get endorsement deals with Nike, when they got to sit with the owners of Nike and they got to sit with the owners of this company and they got to sit with owners of all this and do all of this, when they're doing all of this, sitting with NBC or whatever station they got to sit with, they're rubbing shoulders, and they need someone that knows how to navigate through these worlds. And a lot of times, unfortunately, a difference in communities is a lot of times in the white communities, women are groomed to be ready for this world, to be ready for who they have to be when they make it to this high tier of society. And unfortunately, we haven't gotten to that place fully in our community, because I mean, this is the highest position. First lady is the most respectable female title in America. And if she can't fall in line and stay on code, then it just kind of shows why a lot of black men, especially when they run into wealth, they're like, you know what? Maybe I need to go the other direction, because this is what they kind of have to deal with. They got to deal with someone who says, well, I don't feel like coming to the dinner. And then he loses out on $100 million deal because he wasn't able to woo the CEO of whatever company, right? Well, where's your wife? Or maybe this deal's closed simply because his wife likes your wife. Literally. Deals that'll be closed. Just, my wife said she loves your wife. They had a lovely discussion. You know what? I'll invest in your company. And that makes a difference sometimes between a very rich man and a poor man. So you can't be mad at these men with money choosing outside the race when we have so many examples of them choosing within the race and it causing them nothing but difficulty and causing them to take these huge hits to their brand. I don't like white women, by the way, just to make that clear. I don't date white women. So I just made that point.
Do anybody know if Rosa
She was
Parks
married. She was married, yeah.
I wonder how her husband felt when she decided to sit on the back of that
made
bus.
all of that shit up. Like, I've been
Apples
with
and
you all.
oranges.
I
Apples
literally
and
been
oranges.
with you, Cloud, but you made every single word up. That made no sense. First of all, black men are CEOs or marrying black women. Let's start there. So you literally moved the goalpost and you made all of that up. One thing has nothing to do with one another, because what I know about black women is that we do show up and we stand next to our men. Michelle didn't. That's why I feel like we took an L. Because we've been standing up and standing strong too long for her to do that.
So
I'll win.
Aisha, because I was gonna say something a little different than what Klaus said, but kind of on the same topic. This is why men don't want to get married in the first goddamn place. This shit looks like risky business. And I think a lot of black men, just like Aisha was saying, they're only interested in black women. I'm only interested in black women. I tried the white woman thing. I don't like pink nipples. Ew. Right? So sorry.
God.
But look, I'm trying to tell you, like, now I keep telling myself, like, damn, not only am I glad I got married when I did, because at the age I'm at now, I've invested 10 years. I've been with her for 10, been married for almost 7. Would I even want to start knowing, looking at the landscape, the dating landscape today, would I even want to start? It all looks like risky business. And the saddest part, and I think, Ty, you said something about this a little earlier, like black people get judged by the worst person. You know why that is, right? It's because there are too many black people that are run to make an excuse for that person rather than admonish them. And we've been doing that a lot. The fact that she did something like this, and women, it's not even the men, it should be women being like, hell no, lady, you stand there next to your former president. If women were doing that, men would be like, hell yeah, this is a risk I can take, because somebody gonna let her know, her community gonna let her know she was wrong for doing that to me. But it makes men, pause a little bit when they like, how can she be completely wrong for what she did? And they attacking me. You see what I'm saying? So nah, it completely makes the marital landscape and the commitment landscape to our women, unfortunately, it makes it look really, really risky. Because sometimes, just sometimes, we need you to choose us, our brand, and our image. Because here's the funniest thing: no woman takes a ego hit for standing by her man. It never happened in history. Your man can cheat on you and you stay, your image don't take a hit. So everything he does, everything he could possibly go through is something you could benefit from. But he can only get backlash, and his reputation can take a hit from you choosing yourself. And now it's bad optics. Now somebody can literally make a caption and say, strong, who's the strong woman, with those 2 white women sitting there next to their man, right? They look strong now, right? So it's really bad optics. And I just hope we really understand that the high value men that women say they want, you got to show up for him. The high value man is not going to negotiate anything with you. Babe, we got dinner at 7. Dry cleaning. Have it ready. All right, babe. Click. That's how they talk. This is military precision style life, right? But you benefit all of it. Is the mortgage not paid? Yes. Do you not have money in your account for all them bags you want? Yes. That's what you get out of the deal. So we just need women to understand, like, look, I got to show up and show out. These y'all men, who gonna do it better than you? Nobody. These y'all men. Show up for them, please.
Let me go ahead and get to these super chats. LD member for 21 months says, y'all the only people I heard talking about this from older to younger. People really don't care about this situation like that. Let's be honest. Chris Reed, $5 says, can we blame Kamala Harris for Michelle and Obama? I really think Michelle wanted to take Kamala Harris' race and go a different way. AP, $10 says, he was in a firestorm. And yes, I was hurt. And yes, I was resentful with the position to put our family in. I had to stand by him during that tumultuous. Did I say that correctly?
Tumultuous.
Tumultuous time. I probably said it wrong. Hillary Clinton, quit making excuses. Thank you. Big Ant, $11, $10 says, I got $100 on that. Die or Hink is going to start crying. Who wants some of this action? Brooklyn Tall, $4.99 says, if black men are weak, what does that say about black women that raised them? AP Accountability Partner, $2 says, prayer for Michelle. I hope there's no health scare. Yeah, we want no health scare. AP accountability partner $5 says, and if there's no health scare, then she's foul, disrespectful, and weak. It made him look weak, and it further enhances the stereotypes of our families. Chris Reed, $5 says, can the panel tell me what do Black people need to do while Trump is in office? I think we need to be on our P's and Q's. AP accountability partner $10 says, that she is where she is because her good husband is Barack Hussein Obama. Put some respect on that man. She would just be Michelle Robinson without him. It's his name, his legacy. She spit on it. AP again, $5 says she didn't have a mental health issue celebrating her birthday in Hawaii, except for when it came to supporting her husband. First Carter, the inauguration. AP again, $10 says, ain't no way in hell 3 months ago I would think Hillary Clinton is a stronger woman than Michelle Obama, but now she's definitely a stronger woman than this Michelle Robinson lady. AP $2 says again, prayers for Michelle. I hope she's okay. AP again, $5 says Michelle Robinson has validated Klaus' position on marriage and it helped me understand it more. Such a vote. 125. A lot of women don't understand hierarchy. Their man could be the best actor, richest in the world, or ex-president, but the woman think they can crash out. BZ, $2 says pink nips matter.
Yuck.
And lastly, Abraham Lacey, $2 Trigger Mike lost us with the pink nips. LOL. I already know what's going down at Trigger Mike's house tonight.
Not no pink nipples. Some shit. Hell no.
Mike got a thing for the snow bunnies.
Nah, bro. No bunny. Look, why? Listen, I was just telling somebody, why do big white women like dark skinned dudes so much, bro? They always looking like.
Because that community won't accept them.
Ugh. I'd be like, get out my face. It'd be the most greasy looking big back. Look at it. Ugh.
Yeah. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank the panel for their perspectives. Make sure we enjoy the rest of our evening. Thank you guys, and catch us Thursday on a Thursday show tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Time, and we are out.